And here we are at the finale. You know, from the first episode, anybody who knew anything about Berserk, once they knew that somebody was doing a Berserk Abridged, the first question in their mind was, holy god, what are you going to do with the Eclipse? And it's not that it didn't occur to me from the start, but you got to remember that when I started Berserk Abridged, even Little Karibo was only on episode, I don't know, 15 or 20 or so. So, you know, I thought, oh, well, whatever, you know, we'll see if I even get that far. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. When it became obvious that, yes, I would almost certainly get to the end, for the longest time my idea was that I wouldn't actually abridge it. Instead, I would, you know, get right up to the last episode, and then I'd post, basically make a Berserk version of AMV Hell or Naruto and use that in lieu of an actual finale. But when it started coming really, really close, I realized, you know, the problem with that is that to keep it from being a huge disappointment to everyone, that would have to be the baddest ass quick-cut AMV compilation in the history of anything ever. And my editing just wasn't up to the task of making it that good that it wouldn't be a disappointment to everybody. So I did finally suck it up and did an actual abridged finale, as we shall see in a moment. But if it seems like this finale is very heavy on little musical mini AMV bits, that's why. It's because those are ideas that I recycled from that initial idea. That whole introduction there, by the way, I think went on pretty long. I think that all I really needed to do was do the spoiler warning, and I could have skipped the rest, but oh well, too late now. And some Weird Al there. Never use the original version when there's a Weird Al version. Not in an abridged series, anyway. This whole bit with all this dialogue, this was a right bitch to edit. Because I had this, you know, minute upon minute of long dialogue in this scene here. But nobody really talks beyond a certain point in the Eclipse. It's just horrible things happening and people's reactions to that. So I had to switch between these same 3 clips to represent all of the dialogue. So, visually, I'm afraid that this was pretty unimpressive, but oh well. This is, I don't know. On the one hand, I'm afraid that it might have gotten long-winded, but on the other one, I love all this dialogue so much, and I can't think of what I would have cut if I'd been of a mind to cut any of it to try and make it shorter and snappier. For those who don't know, what Guts is describing here about the Freaky Skull Knight and everything, that's pretty much spoiler alert, but hopefully nobody's watching this who hasn't seen the Eclipse, at least in the anime. But that is pretty much what happens in the manga, and that's how Guts and Casca survive, is a skeleton knight shows up out of nowhere and swoops them away. Makes a little more sense in the manga, because he doesn't come completely out of nowhere. You've seen him before. He got cut out of the anime so as not to leave so many loose threads, but I thought that was... This was a fun way of working that little bit of manga plot into there. Plus, you know, drug humor.
Saving us at the last minute was the best you could come up with? Wait a minute. You've been eating your special brownies, haven't you?
I love brownies. Oh, I didn't say that. Normal brownies.
Well, aren't you just the cutest little freaky red demon?
I don't know why the freaky red demon face is named Steven. Seems like a very mundane name for a freaky red demon face. Right around here, actually right around when the next little musical bit after this comes up, a couple of people started to say, isn't this a little overkill with the music? Nice demon ass there. So they'll probably be glad that I didn't do what I had originally intended to do. Originally, I was going to have a little intro theme like this for each of the 4 God Hand. And I decided, no, that was too much, that was overkill. So I just had the one for Slan that I couldn't bear to cut. And then the other 3 were lumped together under, he's got the whole world in his hands. Because, you know, God Hand, they're evil, they're demons, but they're the hand of God, because God's just a big asshole in Berserk land, so, you know. Throw a little gospel music in there for children, because, you know, for kids. Lanny! Everybody listen to Lanny! I have to remind everybody who's coming into this late, this was back when, like, having other abridged people, doing guest voices, was like this mind-blowing thing. We'd done the crossover special, and Little Karibo had showed up, like, twice, I think, in Naruto Abridged, and Lanny showed up once, and that was it for crossovers. So this was, like, a big deal. I love Lanny's Void voice. As soon as he sent me those lines, I instantly knew that this was a great idea. I like Vegeta's Ubik voice too. Although I had to get him to tone it down a little. Initially he was going like way crazy and cartoony with it. It's like that's cool, but bring it back. Bring it back.
Open your mind.
And I do love that, Vegeta and Lanny's voices are all like demonic and all deep and gravelly. Well, deep for Lanny and high for Vegeta. And Masako is pretty much just
That's
this.
the kind of thing that goes
And
through your
Fro
head?
Legend too, who was so nice and did this at the last minute. Initially, I had wanted my girlfriend to play that part because she had already been Sir Integra in the Hellsing one shot, and I even got her to record it. Against her wishes, because she really had no interest in doing that. I begged and pleaded with her to do it, and then the file was corrupt. I didn't even want to try to get her to sit down and do it again. So, I, at the last minute, came hat in hand to Fro Legend and said, "Please, will you help me out?" And she did, and she nailed it, and it was wonderful. And actually, I had Gahuli do a take of it too, because I didn't know if Fro Legend would be willing to do it. And so, unfortunately, that one didn't wind up getting used because Fro Legends got to me first and was already edited in there. So, thank you, Gahuli, for trying. All right, going on too long. See you next time for the thrilling conclusion to be continued. Blibbity blah.